What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd, where we talk all things major movie television news. This video is going to be very, very late today because, obviously, Bandcamp all week, and obviously there's been a lot of stuff going on these past couple of days and throughout this week. So videos are either going to come early or late. Tomorrow, it's going to be early for the breakdown of Secret Invasion. With that being said, though, Secret Invasion, the finale does drop tomorrow, and we're going to be previewing the Secret Invasion finale. We're going to talk about who can cameo in this show, what the plot's going to be, what surprises are going to happen in this show, the downfall of President Rickson as well. We are going to be talking all of the Secret Invasion finale in this video. But first, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any major movie television news. Again, I am your host on the channel, Grant Sullivan. Let's go ahead, though, and hop into this Secret Invasion finale preview. So, some bold predictions for this finale. Obviously, number one being Rhodey. Rhodey is the main focus of this show, or one of the main focuses of this show, right? We know that Rhodey in this show right now, currently, is a Skrull. So maybe in this episode, they will reveal how long Rhodey has been a Skrull. As we know, it sets up Armor Wars and that movie going forward. We know it's been turned into a movie and not a Disney Plus show. So hopefully, we'll get some answers and clarity on how long Rhodey has been a Skrull for in the MCU. I'm thinking since before Avengers Endgame he was a Skrull. Maybe after Ultron and all of that went down. I'm thinking that's when Rhodey decided to let someone impersonate him and let him be a Skrull. Obviously, that is probably what I'm thinking that's most likely going to happen is when if they do reveal it, then that's going to happen. Obviously, we do want the real Rhodey back. So is real Rhodey going to be rescued in this episode? Or is real Rhodey just letting a Skrull impersonate him? Who knows what Rhodey is doing, but I feel like we are going to be getting some answers in this Secret Invasion finale. Number one, obviously, before we start this as well, this finale has to be really, really long. There have been some episodes that are kind of short and haven't really gotten a lot of plot points in there. So this episode has to be at least 50 minutes for me, and I think that they'll deliver on that promise. Hopefully, Secret Invasion is that long and it can give us more time to develop the ending of this series. Hopefully it's like an hour long is what I'm going for. So hopefully Secret Invasion, the finale, is really, really long as we have gotten some not too long episodes as well. But more on the finale, and number one being, who was Nick Fury on the phone with is a great question that I have seen a lot of people ask questions about over on Twitter. Obviously, number one candidate, obviously, Captain Marvel. It could be Captain Marvel herself. She could make an appearance in this show. We've heard from the director not to expect a Captain Marvel appearance in this show, but I think that it is completely possible for Captain Marvel to make an appearance in this show. We know that this sets up the Marvels, which we will talk about some breaking news in the last couple of hours as well at the end of this video for the Marvels. But, again, this show sets up Captain Marvel too. So obviously that's going to set up this for Nick Fury to be in this show. We know Nick Fury is going to be in the Marvels as well. So obviously lots of setup being there as well. Nick Fury could potentially be a Skrull, or this could set up Nick Fury, or Captain Marvel could appear in this show is my first candidate for right there. Number two, we could get a President Ross cameo. Now, you may be wondering how in the world is this going to happen if we get a Thunderbolt Ross cameo. Number one, obviously, let me explain it right here as we do have a little time before we get into this long video. But number one, President Nixon, right? We know that President Nixon is recovering from surgery. We know that he got shot in the last episode of Secret Invasion. And we know that Skrull Rhodey is his right-hand man right now. So obviously, that being said, this could set up Rhodey to make the president drop the bomb or whatever on Russia that Gravix is planning right now. Number one, that being the main Project Harvest point right now is for them to bomb Russia and things like that. But that's what can happen. And then after that, the United States government decides to have another election, and then they can elect Thunderbolt Ross as their new president, and then he can be introduced into a post-credit scene if we would like that to happen. Now, honestly, that's not a bad plan if you ask me for Marvel Studios. Do I think they're going to do that in that post-credit scene? No, absolutely not. I don't think Marvel Studios is going to introduce Thunderbolt Ross at all in this show. I don't think that he will appear. He will be in Captain America Brave New World. Maybe we'll see him in the Marvels with Nick Fury, obviously having some of that connection with the presidency and stuff like that. But that's just one of the ways that President Thunderbolt Ross could come into this show. Now, obviously, again, don't think that's going to happen, but I think it is a possibility that President or Thunderbolt Ross was the man on the phone with Nick Fury. Now, obviously, there is one more cast member who has not shown up yet, and we do know that there is going to be such cast member who shows up. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember who it is, but one of the characters who we have seen in the trailer I think that's going to be one of the bigger cameos in this episode. If anybody does cameo, is going to be her. I know it's a her. I just don't know who it is, who's been cast in in Secret Invasion, but that could be a cameo right there in itself. So 3 candidates for that cameo as well. But continuing on with some of this preview as well. What else is the plot of this episode, you might ask? Well, finding the Skrulls a new home. Obviously, that's going to be implicated in the Marvels, and it's going to be implicated throughout the MCU as another groundbreaking storyline. We know that that's going to happen, but finding the Skrulls a home is going to be a major plot point in this finale, and obviously, Nick Fury somehow goes back to Saber, which we will probably see at the end of this finale, and we will see how this sets up for the future of the Skrulls in the MCU and how that's going to be a storyline going forward in the MCU. So, obviously, just a few things that I want to mention before we go on to the Marvels news. Just to recap, number 1, who could show up? Maybe the real Rhodey. What's going on with the real Rhodey as well, and what's happening with the president too. And then, obviously, we got that storyline with finding the Skrulls a new home, and then Project Harvest as well, right? We know that Project Harvest is finding the blood as well of the Avengers, so maybe an Avenger could show up. Who knows who's going to show up in this Secret Invasion finale? But moving on to the Marvels news, we have some Captain Marvel 2 news, and it looks like that Disney could be pulling Captain Marvel 2 from its release. Now, its 2023 release. Now, we know that this film is set to come out in November of 2023, November 10th to be exact. But in an article with CBR.com, they have said that Disney is looking to pull the Marvels from its 2023 release date and push it back to when the strike obviously is over. Now, what that means for Marvel Studios, no more Marvel Studios movies. It says Disney is reportedly considering delaying the Captain Marvel 2 the Captain Marvel sequel with the ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. So, obviously, a whole lot of MCU news for today. We just talked about the preview for Secret Invasion, and we talked about that Captain Marvel news as well. So, be sure to drop a like, subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Again, let me know how hyped you guys are for the Secret Invasion finale. We will wake up early, get that breakdown in for you guys, and then have it out on the channel by tomorrow around 6 a.m. or so, I would say, on the East Coast. But that's going to be all for today's video. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, turn that bell on. Do our absolute best to post every single day on this channel. Let me know how hyped you are for the Secret Invasion finale. 4 things you guys got to do in there. Obviously, let me know how hyped you guys are for the Secret Invasion finale and who you think that is going to cameo. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. That being said, and I will thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.